Hi, welcome to the Shepherd Podcast. I'm your host. I'm Pastor Chris. Thank you very much for joining me today for another conversation out of Shepherd of the Hills, the great people we have here, our church, school, and child care, people who are involved in some wonderful things, including today's guest. Her name is Mary Kathryn Archuleta, and she is involved in an organization called Dreams Fulfilled Through Music. I can't wait for her to tell you about it because it really makes a difference in the lives of some very special people using music. Mary Kathryn and her family have been a part of our church for about a year and a half, and so still fairly new with us, but have already made an impact, and I feel have found ways to serve and make a difference. And so now I'm very pleased to introduce to you Mary Kathryn Archuleta. Mary Kathryn, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Pastor Chris. We have really enjoyed our time since we began. We became members here at Shepherd.
Great.
And several years ago, actually about 10, I guess, we had done one of our Christmas Round the World programs here before we became members.
Right.
And that's when we first began to realize, well, maybe this is what should be our church home.
Yeah.
And we're so happy it is now.
Oh, I'm glad too. I remember interacting with you years beforehand. I mean, what year was it that you first began doing things here at Shepherd of the Hills?
I think that was 2008 or 9.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah, it's been a while.
But Dreams Fulfilled Through Music was actually incorporated as a 501c3 nonprofit in 2005.
Okay.
However, I have been teaching students with special needs for 58 years.
Oh, okay. So you've had just a little bit of practice.
A little bit of practice.
Well, I want to hear that. I want to hear about your background. But first, let's define for our people Dreams Fulfilled Through Music. What exactly is that, and who do you serve?
Dreams Fulfilled Through Music, as I said before, we are a 501c3 nonprofit, and we provide adaptive music education and performance opportunities for folks with special needs.
Okay.
Now, special needs is often considered to be just those who have lower functioning cognitive abilities or behavioral challenges. Okay. But special needs is a much broader definition because we also serve individuals who are extremely gifted. So the special needs are really we consider everyone has some sort of a special need.
Okay.
Therefore, we adapt whatever music training, that they're seeking. We adapt the methodology to meet that individual's need.
Okay. So Dreams Fulfilled Through Music, is it just a concert? Is it more than one event? I mean, what happens in your organization?
Dreams Fulfilled Through Music provides throughout the year. We provide individual private music lessons.
Okay, lessons.
We also provide services and a music program. For 5 years prior to COVID, we had a wonderful program at the Unicorn Centers.
Okay.
But that has disappeared because of COVID.
Okay.
We'll be starting up programs at a couple of different day hab services in the next few months, as soon as the regulations from Texas Health and Human Services relax to allow us to go into those facilities.
Okay. About how many people are you serving right now?
We're down to about 10.
And what were you at the height?
Pre-COVID,
Yeah.
over 50.
Oh, really? So COVID's really had a big effect.
COVID really, we were one of the, I won't say few, but a number of the organizations that are funded as we are through the Department of Arts and Culture in the city of San Antonio and through the San Antonio Area Foundation. We have survived. And there are some, like Ballet San Antonio has had to close its doors completely.
Oh, okay.
So it's been very, very difficult.
Yeah, I bet it has.
And you talk about a test of one's faith.
Uh-huh.
That has been the test.
Yeah.
Because so many of our people who do have extreme challenges, they also have compromised immune systems.
Oh.
And so just being able to get out in the community has been hard.
Sure.
So right now we have one student who's not on the program on Sunday the 5th, who is still doing the remote lessons. But remote teaching for people who are on the autism scale or with Down syndrome or are blind students, I mean, the Zoom lessons just don't produce any positive result.
Sure. Yeah, there's nothing like being there in person. Right.
Well, with the students at the Dayhab centers, many of them require hand-over-hand instruction. And most recently, the new executive director at Unicorn had suggested that I teach piano with gloves on.
Okay.
And I said, no.
That doesn't work with gloves on?
Can you picture playing the piano with gloves on?
You just can't really get a feel for it, right?
You can't do it.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, okay.
But
now you play piano?
Piano and accordion.
And accordion. Now, accordion's your specialty, right?
Yes.
You've done a lot of advanced training in accordion.
Yes, I have. I did some collegiate work at the University of Denver with Robert Devine many, many years ago. And I've also done a lot of workshops at the National American Accordionists Association, teaching others how to adapt what we normally have as curriculum that people are used to teaching. And it's been a real pleasure to be able to spread what expertise I have to others in the accordion community and in for the Texas Music Teachers Association and for the TMEA, for Texas Music Educators. We've been privileged to do workshops for all of those organizations.
Great. I want to learn a little more about accordion. I don't know too many people who play accordion. How did you get into that particular instrument?
Well, I've played since high school.
Okay.
And through my early lessons, I became acquainted with Myron Florin of the Lawrence Welk Show.
Okay.
And we developed a wonderful personal relationship as well as professional. And by the time Kathryn was born in 99, Myron Florin and his wife became her godparents.
Oh, okay.
So, and Myron and I together put on the original Christmas Round the World concerts in 1969 at the University of Colorado in Boulder.
Okay, so the original Around the World concert, Christmas Around the World, was 1969, Boulder, Colorado.
Yes.
And that's the theme this year as well?
It has been the theme now 51 years.
Every year it's Christmas Around the World.
Right.
So what makes it around the world? What makes it so international?
What makes it so international? We always include music from many different countries. Now this year we've only got 10 students performing. And so we don't have as wide a variety, but we do have Ihr Kinderlein kommet, the German carol, and we have several international songs.
Okay. Now make sure people know the date, the time. When exactly is this concert happening?
The concert is happening at 2:30 in the afternoon. Originally, it was on the church calendar for 2 o'clock, but we've had to shift it to 2:30.
Okay.
And it will be on Sunday, December 5th, just 2 weeks.
Okay. All right. So Sunday, December the 5th, 2:30 in the worship center at Shepherd of the Hills.
Right.
Is there a cost?
Nope.
No? Free concert?
Free concert.
Wow, what a deal.
And we'll have refreshments afterwards.
Okay. Very
So
good.
it's an opportunity for people to realize that our youngest student performing is 6 years old.
6?
And our most senior is 83.
Oh my goodness, what a range.
A wide range. We also have one of our seniors is 79.
Uh-huh.
And she's been with us for over 10 years.
Okay.
And that was at the time that she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And yet she is still able to perform and function.
Oh, isn't that wonderful?
So
Yeah.
the music has made such a difference in her life.
Sure. And all 10 of these people have a special need of some kind?
Not all 10.
Okay.
Well, yes, I guess you'd say all 10 do.
Okay.
My daughter Kathryn has a rare chronic pain disorder and epilepsy, which fortunately is mostly controlled.
Okay.
But several of the students do have chronic pain issues.
Okay.
And chronic pain and playing the accordion that in and of itself is a challenge.
Yeah. Yeah. What kind of instruments will people hear?
Primarily accordion and piano.
Accordion and piano, because that's what you teach.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that's neat. I don't think we get to hear a lot of accordion. I just think that's so interesting.
Kathryn and I are hoping to be able to play on Sunday morning, play special music.
Accordion?
Yes.
Oh, how interesting. Accordion music. Yeah, we talked a little bit about that. So you've done advanced training with accordion.
Right.
I guess, can you tell me more? I just don't know much about accordion at all. I mean, what makes accordion so special? What do you love about it?
Oh, that's kind of a hard question to answer, because that's kind of like asking who's your favorite child.
Okay.
It's an instrument that you can play and you can enjoy, and you can face your audience. You know, with a piano, it's wonderful, and I love piano, but most times the audience sees the pianist's back or the side. With the accordion, you're facing directly to your audience, and so it's an opportunity to communicate with your audience even better.
Yeah.
And it's very good for kids with autism, because it helps them to interact and communicate.
Oh, okay. Why do you think more people don't play accordion?
I don't know.
Yeah?
I wish, I mean, years ago, 50 years ago, it was very common.
Really?
But for those of the generation that are familiar with the Lawrence Welk Show, Myron Florin is accordionist par excellence. And he was the one that really inspired me after I had started to learn just the very basics.
Yeah.
And then I knew from that time on, I wanted to go professional.
Okay. Now go professional. Now, what all does that involve? I mean, did you tour? Did you play events? What are some things you've done as a performer, not
as
just
a performer?
teacher?
We've mostly performed at accordion festivals.
Oh, okay.
National festivals, and I've participated in the American Accordionists Association, what they call a massed band, and that's where you have up to 100 or 150 accordion players, all performing together as an accordion orchestra.
Oh, wow.
And what's wonderful there is that because of the different tunings on an accordion, you can, if you close your eyes and no one tells you that it's an accordion orchestra, you would think it's a symphony orchestra.
Mm.
So I'll have to share with you some of the recordings that from the University of Missouri at Kansas City.
Okay, that sounds great.
And one really special thing that's coming up in May of 2022, our small group of 7 accordionists has been invited to play at the World of Accordions Museum in Superior, Wisconsin.
Oh.
And we'll be playing before some of the most well-known, internationally well-known accordion educators.
Okay, well, that'll be very
So
special. You'll be a part of that?
Oh, yes. I mean, I'll be the director.
How exciting.
And so to give people with special needs that kind of an opportunity is just amazing.
Yeah. Now I want to make sure I'm clear. So we've talked about the Christmas Around the World concert.
Right.
We've talked about dreams fulfilled through music. Are these two different things? Did they merge? Or
no, it's Christmas Around the World kind of grew into Dreams Fulfilled Through Music.
Oh, okay.
Dreams Fulfilled Through Music was actually incorporated in 2005.
Okay.
But as a private teacher, I had put on the Christmas Around the World concerts before then.
Okay, so it became a part of Dreams Fulfilled Through Music.
Right, and now,
okay,
like even this coming April 2nd, we'll be performing in collaboration with Any Baby Can and the Autism Walk. They've asked us to collaborate with them and perform at their event.
Oh, wonderful! So you've had some opportunities come
up. Lots of different opportunities.
Yeah. Now tell me about your work with those with special needs. What are some of the challenges of working with a person with special needs, and how do you work through those challenges to be successful in what you're doing?
Well, the most important thing is to simply realize that you have to accept the student's abilities as they are.
Sure.
You don't try to project, I want to teach this, or I want to teach that, or I want to do this in a certain way. You allow the student to be the guide and let the student tell you or communicate to you in whatever way he or she can.
I see. So it has to be customized to each student. You can't say this is what it's going to end up being like. You really have to work with
you have to work
what God's
and
given that student.
You have to modify for each individual.
Yeah.
We have developed our own manner of music notation because most of the students do not read music as such.
Right.
We write out a music score, but we also write in the letter names of the notes.
Okay.
We use color coding. We just have a myriad of different adaptations.
Okay. So you have to be real flexible.
Very flexible. It has to be our middle name.
Is that right? That's an important thing for you, being flexible. Was that hard for you to be as flexible as you needed to be when you first started doing this?
No, I mean it was.
That's always been natural?
It was just very natural.
Okay, so that's a good fit for you.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you think of some examples of students who have come through your program and you've really seen the difference that it's made in their lives? Can you tell us about anybody?
Absolutely. One of our students, he's probably 35 or so now, but I started with him when he was in 4th or 5th grade. He was a nonverbal autistic child, but very gifted musically. And by the time he was in high school, he was able to perform for the UIL competitions alongside his so-called typically developing peers.
Okay.
And he actually earned first place gold medal.
Wow.
Piano solo.
What a success story.
At the highest level in the UIL.
Oh, that must have been so exciting to see that happen.
That's special.
Yeah, yeah.
And another very special student that I recall, this has been many years ago, a student who was both legally blind and deaf.
Okay.
And the deaf students can really feel with the accordion because it's so physical.
Mm-hmm.
She actually learned how to play several. There were simple songs, but it doesn't matter how simple the song is,
Sure.
or the piece of music.
Yeah.
It's how well they are able to play that. It can be "Mary Had a Little Lamb,"
Yeah.
and that's fine.
Yeah.
But as far as the number of events that we put on every year, prior to COVID, we were putting on between 20 and 30 events, going to nursing homes for different community events. We were doing that, and then it suddenly dropped to 0.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was hard. Emotionally, that was hard for me because I'd never just taken a vacation.
Yeah, I'm wondering how you handled that personally. I mean, that must have been such a big disappointment, and just having to reorient how you're spending your time.
Totally.
Because you were used to being so busy with those events, and then down to 0.
And it was a sudden drop to 0.
Yeah, yeah. So how did you handle that personally?
That took a lot of faith.
Yeah.
It took a lot of faith to realize that we're not going to go under. And I thank God very much for the fact that we did qualify for the PPP loans.
Good.
So, I mean, that, and then we've qualified for some of the CARES Act money and a special arts recovery grant that we got from the San Antonio Area Foundation.
Oh, good. That all really helped.
So that has helped to keep us alive.
Yeah, yeah.
And we've just been blessed.
Yeah. You mentioned faith. Can you tell me how your faith has played a role in what you do, not just Dreams Fulfilled through music, but just your life in general? How has your faith helped you?
My faith, I guess I can't imagine what life would be without it. That's the easiest way I can explain it.
Yeah.
The biggest stumbling block, other than COVID, was when Kathryn was injured on the day before finals at her senior year in high school. She had too much weight in her backpack, and the next day realized that, Mom, my arm hurts real bad. And so I said, well, take some ibuprofen, And she went out to her birthday celebration at Fiesta, Texas. And the mom in me said, take the cell phone. That's when we had those big, giant cell phones.
Yes. Yeah.
I said, if you're going to drive, you're going to take the cell phone.
Yeah.
And she was out there maybe 2 hours, and she called home crying in just excruciating pain. We didn't know what on earth would cause that.
Yeah.
And long story really condensed, several trips to the emergency room and so forth, and no one could figure out what it was until about 2 or 3 weeks later, we wound up going to Texas Tech International Pain Clinic in Lubbock.
Okay.
And that's when she was diagnosed with what is known as chronic regional pain syndrome.
And you didn't know she had that before this?
No, she didn't have it prior to carrying the extra heavy backpack.
Oh, she didn't have it, but
No.
then that caused this to become a part of her life, and it's been a part of her life ever since.
It's been a part of her life ever since.
Yeah.
And
wow.
so she's had, 50% of the time she depends on a power wheelchair.
Right, yeah.
And we had to struggle a great deal to get the SSI, the supplemental Social Security, so that she could manage to get the medical care, because there was no way that I could ever afford the medical care that she's had to have over the last 20 years.
Yeah, right. And this all started with a backpack with too much weight in it.
That's what it was. Too much weight.
Wow, isn't that something?
So,
yeah.
And we struggled for 5.5 years to get her qualified for the SSI.
Uh-huh.
And what strikes me, she and I are actually the original co-founders of Dreams Fulfilled Through Music.
Oh, okay.
And Dreams grew out of her Gold Award project from the Girl Scouting.
Oh, okay.
And that was held in March of 99.
Uh-huh.
And Dreams, we had originally planned to incorporate in June of 99.
Okay.
But then she was injured.
Yeah.
And so that delayed it till 2005.
I see. Mm-hmm.
So you talk about what's been the greatest struggle.
Yeah.
That's probably been a greater struggle than COVID. I guess having been through that, that my faith carried me through that, and I figured, if I can deal with that, I can deal with COVID.
There you go. Yeah, that's right.
It's really been a challenge, but so worthwhile.
Yeah.
And she's still able to play.
Great.
She wasn't able to go on and be a music major as she had originally intended.
Yeah.
But she participates in our accordion group, and it's a real blessing.
Yeah. Now, did you have an interest in special needs before Kathryn had her own special needs?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was teaching people with special needs long before that.
Okay.
So, but then all of a sudden, here I am, the parent.
Yeah.
And that is a huge difference.
Sure.
Going from being just professional,
right?
And I say just professional,
to
being a parent and professional.
It became very personal.
Very personal.
Yeah.
And so we have struggled.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, like I said earlier, I can't imagine our lives without our faith.
Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. Like you said, God has really carried you through some things, and He will continue to carry you through all the challenges. Yeah.
So
now I'm thinking about where you're at now and where things have been pre-COVID. Do you have thoughts on how to build back up the program?
We're working very gradually to build it up.
Uh-huh.
And our two major events this coming year are the Autism Walk.
Okay.
With Any Baby Can.
Okay.
And then we're going to play for the Alhambra Catholic Men's Association, because their specific ministry is to special needs.
Oh, okay.
And they do an annual, or they used to do an annual zoo trip where they pay for zoo passes once a year for students and clients, students in the special need program in the schools and in the group homes.
Okay.
And then they have us play and perform at their event.
All right. So you have those events going on.
Right. And then we're going to be going up to Wisconsin.
Right. Yeah.
So previous to that, for about 7 different years, we traveled to the American Accordionists Association, and the students played in competition. Competition, I don't like the word against, but their competitors were typically developing students. Uh-huh. And many of them got first and second place.
Hey, that's great.
I mean, to realize what they've struggled with what it takes them to learn a particular contest piece is probably 6 or 8 months.
Yeah.
Whereas someone else will think nothing of learning it in 2 weeks.
Wow. Okay. So that takes a lot of patience and perseverance.
A lot more work.
Yeah.
But we have many trophies to, that recognize what their accomplishments have been.
Absolutely.
And again, COVID took care of that for 2 years.
Yeah. Right.
So we're happy to be able to go up to the World of Accordions Museum in Superior, Wisconsin in May.
In May, okay. Well, I'll look forward to hearing all about that.
Oh yes, we'll try to get some recordings of our performances up there.
That'd be wonderful. So
and
we've got that.
We're also hoping to schedule some workshops for music teachers up in Wisconsin.
Great. Okay, so we've got that coming up in May. We've got the concert here coming up first Sunday in December at 2:30.
Right.
Anything else that we didn't talk about that you think our audience should know?
I think we've pretty much covered it.
Okay, I thought so too.
Except for the fact that many people don't realize that there is a difference between adaptive music education and music therapy.
Oh, sure.
And we're going to hopefully be able to work with Carolyn Melcher.
Yeah, that's a perfect connection.
In providing some of the services for music therapy that we also do offer through Dreams.
Excellent. Well, Mary Kathryn, you are a part of a wonderful organization, a wonderful ministry, and I know that God is using you in great ways. And I thank you very much for this conversation. It makes people aware of what you're doing and very timely with the Christmas Around the World concert coming up. So I'm hoping that people will take advantage of that opportunity and come and check it out.
I do hope so too. We would love to see a large number of people from here at Shepherd, just to acquaint the congregation more in depth with what we offer.
Sure, absolutely. Well, consider that your invitation then to come and join in for the concert, 2:30 Sunday, December 5th, here at Shepherd of the Hills, and get to see the great work that is done by those in Dreams Fulfilled through music. Thank you very much for being a part of our podcast episode today. You got to hear from Mary Kathryn and the work that she's a part of. Please join us next time as we continue to introduce you to people here at Shepherd of the Hills and the ways that God is using them. Until next time, the Lord's blessings to you. May He keep you healthy and safe and strong. And the peace of the Lord be with you today.